Okay, so how did you guys do? Good? So let's test this out. Going to be located in your group. This is going to be your group for your group project. So you guys have a group project that you guys have to turn in at the end of the semester, right? You guys, it's a parody. It is a parody. It is a presentation, and it is a paper. Okay. Yeah, you guys have to write. Imagine that, right? Okay, so. So it's really important that you guys get to know your group. And this is also going to be your lab group for most of the semester. You guys are going to be working in groups for the most part. You know, so I get used to each other. It's going to go fast, right? So this is going to be kind of like your family. Okay. So don't be impressed. You guys are looking scared here. Okay. So this is how we do it. Okay. So you are Guillermo. So Guillermo's going to tell me about his life. Right? Okay, you got to talk loud enough because I need to be able to hear you from the other side of the room.
My name is Gina. My name is Tina. I'm here from Larry. A lot of RM program.
They're responsible.
Also, you have to say for favorite music, but Mexican music. The thing about it, she just didn't have anything like specialty for her.
doing so well already, right? First day of test, you're killing. Come on now, Tina.
In 5 years, you make that concept. And
Okay, DJ.
okay.
You have to go in order.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, excellent. I love to eat. So can't you tell? Okay, you said yeah. Her name was again? Jacqueline. Hey, Jacqueline. What's about you? Okay. 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 Okay, let's start with this group here. So, start with it.
You're on at the right. Once the R and favorite music, rap, the good stuff, and something unique about him that he's not scared to voice his
Okay.
opinion. And then in 5 years, he wants to be in the next teacher.
Okay.
And he wanted to test your ruler.
Hey, Carlos. Your neighbor here.
Oh, her name is Alistair.
You gotta talk louder because they can't hear. Can you guys hear him? Can? I couldn't hear.
Her name is Alistair, and she's a house science teacher. She's taking this class because it's a requirement. She does not. Oh yeah. She wants to become well, she didn't say specifically what she wants to become, but she actually wants to get into the medical field and do something there. And she sees herself working and getting a new home or an apartment. And her favorite type of music is also, it depends on her mood. Yeah. And something unique about her is that she has she's a mother. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, Allison. Tell us about your neighbor here.
Her the house science, the house science. She's in this class because she needs it to be a dental hygienist to get into the program. She does not commute, she lives here. She wants to be a dental hygienist. In 5 years, she wants to be close to finishing up the program. Her music, she likes a little bit of. And what's unique about it, she is expands.
So you guys know that, you know. So we're gonna go for that, right? Okay, Ebony.
The bottom of it, or he uses it, and then in 5 years, he uses himself in North Carolina with his partner. Face the world alone, and then she can order by herself.
You think you can order by yourself?
Yeah, because like everything is in the street and like we'll have public and behind me working. Like mumbling what he wants. He's like scared order. And she's like, I'm sorry, what is he going to say? I no,
Okay. Okay, so it's good. He wants to be in it. There's back. Okay.
and he likes anything music. And great things like sailing.
Okay. Ivan.
This is Melissa for your health science. She wants to become a nurse. She's working or finishing her program the next 5 years. And, favorite music, anything.
And you say anything with a beat.
Yeah, anything with it. Okay. And then her something unique about herself. She said her hair.
Yeah.
She said when she wakes up in the
His degrees in, well, his major.
Well, no. You have to try.
Okay.
Help us. Can you say it once and then we'll help us?
His name's Isaiah, and his major is in health science or general health actually. He's taking this course because it's a free ride, and he commutes. He lives in town, so he doesn't really drive far. And when he grows up, he wants to be a dental hygienist. And in 5 years, he sees himself being a dental hygienist, or he said also, or up to a dentist. His favorite kind of music, he said, is Arabic music. And something unique, I think, is he speaks two languages. Yeah.
I say it, right? Okay, I say it. Yeah.
Major is aiming to make pressure nurse. She did me the class as it's for a degree. She didn't want to meet much. She wants to be a registered nurse. She's herself practicing as a nurse in 5 years. And her favorite type of music is country. Something unique about yourself, about her.
Okay. Not bad. You got pretty much everything, right? Just a little something at the end, right? Okay.
This is Cassandra. Her major is health science, and she is taking this class because she does not commute, and she wants to be an ultrasound tech. In 5 years, she says she'll hopefully be an ultrasound tech, but she will be, and she wants to live out of state. Her favorite music is country music, and something that's unique about her is that she likes to craft. This is Kwame. Her major is health science. She's taking this class with this requirement. She can get some warm. She wants to become a certified midwife. And she 5 years she wants to do school. Hopefully working as an RN with a bachelor's degree. So like country music and she's the first to graduate.
Can you repeat that a little bit louder? You guys hear?
Abdul.
Abdul. Okay.
He is majoring in health sciences. Retired. He has a professional. What does he want to do when he grows up? He hasn't decided yet. He is not sure what he's going to do with it. His favorite music is Arabic, and so he music on his. Well, he speaks 3 languages.
What three languages? Arabic, Spanish. Okay, Abdul.
This is like her major is in health science, and she's taking this class because it's a requirement and because she's interested in taking this class. She drives from Hanford, pretty far, and she wants to get her bachelor's and master's. Her favorite type of music is country and all types of music. Something unique and nothing unique, but pathetic and a good friend.
Okay.
That's a good trait.
No, it is a great trait. Okay. So, Leah, you're going to introduce yourself? You're going to go through the skill? Thought you get off, huh?
You will. You gotta hear it. That's definitely good.
Okay. You're upset that I'm doing so let me share a little bit about myself since I made you guys do it. So, as you guys know, I'm Dr. Henry. My major was chemical engineering. I have my BS in chemical engineering. I got my PhD in genetics. Why am I teaching Chem 2A? I'm teaching Chem 2A, particularly this summer. I do it because I like it. I can do what do I want to do when I grow up? Well, I used to say, well, I'm going to be here till I get tenure. I finally got tenure, so that's not my goal now. So the next part of it is to actually, I'm still doing a little bit of consulting. I want to get my own business started eventually. And part of it is I think still trying to figure out exactly where I want to go with it. There are a lot of things that I'm particularly. Where do I see myself in 5 years? 10 years? Well, I got that now, so I'm worried about that. Well, in 5 years, I can see the chemistry department running routinely, under, and offering all the classes that we have. I heard some of you guys are planning to go to dental hygienics. program 10, I believe most of those require an intro to OCHEM. And we have the OCHEM on the books, but we don't offer it. We'll be trying to offer it in the spring. Pitching it to my bosses now. So if you guys know people who want to take that class, I'm going to have you guys start signing a petition so that we can get that offered in the spring. So you guys don't have to travel so far to sit there. Chem, it'll be Chem 2B, which will be the intro to biochem and organic. So, how many of you guys, I'm listening to everything that you guys said, a lot of you guys wanted to be nurses, right? Now, it's going to be really important, particularly because this is a summer class. This is, fast-paced class. So the way that you survive this class is to try to stay on top of it. And part of staying on top of everything is that you gotta want to do it, right? You gotta want to do it. You gotta feel it, right? So if you're doing this because mom and dad said nursing is a great career, right? Then maybe you're doing it from love. If you're doing it because you want to be a nurse, then maybe you're doing it for the right reason. And if that's the case, I'm going to ask you, why do you want to be a nurse? Why not a doctor?
Well, I wanted to be a doctor. So I was like,
Okay. Too much spoon, okay.
well, my goal was to be a doctor when I took the class.
Uh-huh.
And I realized
Uh-huh.
you know, it's gonna be.
Why? Why?
Okay, I'm not. No. So now it's like, it is about.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that, right? So, believe me, I've had people come into the class and they fail the class and they fail the class again, and they fail the class again, and they fail the class again. Now, the way I look at it is there's two reasons that people fail classes, right? One is that you come in and you're not committed to it, right? That's one possibility, right? Second possibility is you come in and you and the instructor don't communicate. If you don't communicate, you're not going to have the class, right? Because if you can't understand what they're saying or what they're talking about, that's going to be a moot point, right? The third possibility is a combination of both, right? You're not communicating with the instructor, the instructor's not communicating with you. Now, I try, I'm not always the best, but I think we can tell you, for the most part, I believe in communication. You text me, you let me know what's going on. I'm always going to try to give you a helping hand, right? If you don't understand something, I'll bitch and complain about it. I'm not going to lie. You're texting me at 10 o'clock at night. I'm really pissed, right? But I will still respond to you and let you know, right? Hey, what's going on? What's the problem? You're struggling with that. Okay, let's talk about it. I'll put you on Zoom. I'll sit there and interact with you. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? So it's important for me to sit there and let you guys know that I'm here to communicate. If you communicate with me, I communicate with you. Which is a two-way street. If you don't communicate with me, I'm not going to run you down. Well, that's not necessarily true. Some cases I'll go run you down and, hey, what the hell's going on? Because the point of this is not for you guys to sit and take class 3 and 4 or 5 times. If you're taking it 3 or 4 or 5 times, there's something wrong. We've got to change something, right? No, it doesn't mean change your major, and it doesn't mean changing your dream either. Again, you've got to understand. Here's the subject, right? Let me give you a little bit of history of chemistry. This is off the topic right now. We'll get back to topic in a minute. Let me switch this to share with our viewers on the outside. We got someone. Can you guys hear us on the other side?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so Brenda, since you get a chance to talk, you get to introduce yourself, and I'll try to get that off the middle of the screen here. Let's see.
Okay. Hello. Good morning. So my name is Brenda. I am a health science major. Hopefully getting into the RN program next year. Well, that's the goal. I am taking this class to meet that requirement. I live in Hanford. Sorry, it's my daughter. So I live in Hanford and I will be commuting to Coalinga to, this is a sick baby, so I'm home. Let's see, the goal eventually is to be an RN. In 5 years, I hope to be working in like a health spa or in cosmetics maybe, or like plastic surgery, not really sure, but I don't want to work in a hospital forever. Oops. And let's see, something unique about me, I really don't know. I was in the Navy. I guess I could talk about that. I did 6 years active duty. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Is it Diana? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So do you want to share?
Sorry, hold on.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yes, I kind of joined late. Did you just want me to introduce myself?
Yep. So your name, your major, why you're
Okay.
taking Chem 2A, do you commute? What do you want to do when you grow up?
Okay. My name is Magdalena Dantes. So I'm taking this class because I am going to be for a prerequisite class. I hope to become a registered nurse and do travel nursing once I do get my degree. And I am in Lemoore, and I'll be commuting. I just had the wrong location today.
That's all right. Okay. Can you guys still hear us? I see why we can't. Give me 1 second. Can one of you guys say something? Can you guys hear me? Is it echoing? Okay, can one of you guys say something?
Hello?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, try now, Brenda.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You guys can hear it now. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I'm gonna walk around because I like walking around. I hate sitting in the front of the classroom. So we were sitting there talking about what you guys want to do and why you didn't want to go to the next level. Some of you guys want to be at nursing. Why? Why just nursing?
I think nurses are kind of like superheroes you don't really notice. They're kind of like in the background, but they help do everything. Like they run the show.
Yeah, my mom was a nurse. My mom passed away several years ago, but she went back and got her degree after I pushed her and kicked her and need to do it, and stuff like that. But she went and got her degree and everything like that, and she was incredible. My mom, of course, won't say she's incredible, but she was incredible. She did a lot of things for a lot of people, and being a nurse takes a lot of work. Often it's very unappreciated work, and my philosophy is that you can do that, right? Most of you guys are going to be able to sit there and get through the program with no problem. And some of you guys, oh, too much schooling, right? Man, you act like you have, your life is running out, right? But the reason why I'm saying, why aren't you considering being a doctor, right? Is because, don't get me wrong, nurses are important. They do most of the work that doctors need to do, right? They're the ones that often are checking up after doctors, keeping them from doing stupid things and things of that extent. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. But my philosophy is shoot for the stars, right? Shoot for the goal. And then if you happen to, get underneath, and don't get me wrong, nurses make good money, but doctors make good money, right? There's another level, right? And don't sell yourself short because you're like, oh, I don't believe I can do it. So I was going to tell you a little bit about chemistry before, right? So the one thing that I want you guys to understand, chemistry is kind of like a language, right? And it was a language that was basically used to sit there and exclude people for a long time, right? And so a lot of times we'll get in a situation and they'll be talking up here rather than talking down here where we're at, right? And they'll talk above us rather than with us. And so a lot of instructors have that mentality, right? I want you guys to understand. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, you need to tell me, I don't understand what you're saying. You know, can you say that another way? Is there another way to explain that? And then we're going to get you to the point where you're also being able to talk at another level as well too. Because the thing is that as a nurse or a doctor, you need to be able to communicate with your patients. Most of the patients that you're going to be seeing are going to come in at a different level, right? So you need to be able to put it down simply so that they understand, right? And not just talking up here to them, because if they don't understand what you're saying, because my grandmother does it all the time, she'll sit there in the doctor's office. And then I'll ask her, Granny, what did he just say, right? And she's like, I don't know what the hell he said, you know, I'm like, and I said, exactly, why don't you ask him, right? And then she gets mad at me when I ask him questions. I'm like, that's his job. He's there to sit there and service you, whether you like it or not, you know, you're paying his bills, right? So you're there to get some type of quality service. So he needs to be able to explain it to you. If he can't explain it, he's not doing his job. If you as a nurse can't explain it, then you're not doing your job. If I as an instructor can't explain it, then I'm not doing much. Okay? So you guys are with me to see where I'm going with this, right? So my job is to sit there and make sure that you guys get through this class. If you put in the work, you put in the time, you talk to me, let me know what's going on, right? We're gonna make it through, right? If you don't put in the work, you don't put in the time, you know, we're not gonna make it through. If you're not gonna talk to me, we're definitely not gonna make it through. I'm gonna give you a hard time the whole time. You're not talking to me, let me know, right? Don't be scared to talk. Communication is key, okay? And a lot of times we forget that, okay? You guys good so far? Okay, so let's talk about this class. How do I pass this class? I passed out a whole bunch of things. Let's see what's left over here. Everybody got it? Let's start with the syllabus. No, you're not. Yeah. Yeah. No, you can go back and get your stuff.
So we just get our stuff ready where we're sitting?
What's that? Yeah, you can go get your stuff. Yeah, go ahead and get your stuff.
So we have to sit right here with each other?
No. You can go back to where you were originally, but this is your group. So you may want to communicate and get everybody's name down because and I need one person to give me a piece of paper that has everybody's name in your group. Because that's your group. And Brenda, what was that? That's right. And Tatiana? I said, so you guys are going to be enough. And we have 2 more students that will be coming into the class on Wednesday, or tomorrow, not Wednesday, Tuesday. So you guys are going to be part of that. If they don't show, then what we'll do is put you in one of these first. Okay? Okay, so I'll share my screen and let me pull up the syllabus. And how many of you guys have laptops? Probably.
So I
Have laptops and brought it.
right here.
You did, but yours is dead.
What we're not supposed to have?
No. I'm asking if you have it. Yeah, you do. If you do, it's not that you're not supposed to have it. If you bring them, that's great. You know, it makes it easy.
Okay, Miss Craft.
Okay, every semester they send me a new book. Trying to do the best that they were using. Okay, so this here is your book. Screen. So this is the book. You don't have to get the newest edition. This is the newest edition, the 7th edition to this. You don't have to get the newest edition. Mesa actually has a couple of copies. You have probably 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th editions. It's fine. Get anyone that's cheapest because all you're really going to do, most people do, 99.99% of us use it as reference, right? Which is good. I like you guys using it as reference. If you read it, great, right? That means that you're taking that extra time. So your first reading assignment, which will also be available on Canvas, is chapter 2, chapter 1 and chapter 2. So you guys need to read chapters 1 and chapters 2 by tomorrow. And so the book is actually listed on each of this, so you guys will know what it is. If you guys go under modules, on your Canvas shell, just to kind of get you guys up and running, we have getting started. We actually have an old version of the textbook. As a, yeah, I believe we have. So the Chem 2A text. So that is a PDF of the text. It is very unstable. It's not meant to be stable. It's used temporarily until you guys get a copy yourself. Now, I like hard copies because I love to write in my books. That's something I don't understand, or post-it notes to sit there and help me understand things. I'm notorious. You know, earbook pages, earmark pages, and everything like that, because I like something tangible. Some of you guys like the digital copies. There's also the digital copies available that you can mail out for the semester. So whatever floats your boat, just try to get something to hold on to so you guys have it as a record. Okay, and I recommend that if you guys are all planning to go into nursing, most of you guys are going to have to take the TEAS test, right? And so that means that you're going to have to come back to it at some point. So I would say invest in a copy of a book. I mean, literally, I saw a couple of them on Amazon for like $20. You know, and so I'm like, if you can get them for $20, and then you have a copy that you can use for study. Okay, I believe in saving money. I'm on a budget. I know you guys are on a budget too. Okay, you guys already know my information. This is my email. I hate email. I get on the average about 350 emails a day. So if I get 350 emails a day, I have to read through all of those damn emails to try to figure out who the hell I want to talk to. And most of the time, I don't want to talk to anybody at a certain point, you know, and so there are very few people I like talking to, and most of the time it's the students, because you guys are what I care about. The admin, I don't want to talk to them half the time because I'm mad at them about not getting my supplies. So, so the best way of contacting me is via text. I will respond better via text. You guys will get your answers usually quicker via text. And I usually check my phone, you know, throughout the day. It's not going to guarantee it's going to be that instant, but you will get a response if you text me. That's the best way of contacting me. I also give my cell number, that 216 number, right? So that's my cell. So just shoot me a text. If you want a quick question, you want a quick response, that's the best way to do it. If you're talking about a homework problem, always do me a favor. This is always one of the things that I like. If you're talking about a problem, first off, tell me who you are, the problem that you're talking about. And then sometimes you guys will be on a different homework assignment, especially in the summer, because we're going to go pretty fast, right? So you want to tell me which homework assignment it is, okay? And so then that way it makes it better for me to, you know, address your question. A lot of times, hey, you know, and this is, you know, such and such, and I'm like, hey, that's great. And then they won't tell me anything else. I'm like, okay, that's no good. If I don't know what you're asking me, I can help, right? Okay. So this is my office number. I'm hardly ever in my office. I'm usually in this room, or I'm at Fireball, or I'm here. Again, the best way of contacting me is via cell phone. You can call. A lot of times I won't answer if I'm in class, but I will answer if I'm outside of class and I'm available. If I don't answer, leave a message. I'll get back to you. Or text me, do both, you know. Best way of doing is text me. Now, I do ask if you don't text me after 10 o'clock, right? If it's, send me an email, I'll get to you. But, you know, unless it's an emergency, if there's an emergency, go ahead and text me, that's fine, you know? If it's not an emergency, like, let me give you an example, right? I had a student that got in a little trouble, and they were being pulled over at the time pretty late at night, and they knew that they were going to be in a little trouble, and they weren't going to be able to make it to class. And so I get a text message about, I'm not going to be able to make it to class for the next couple of days. And I was like, okay, that's good to know. And I'm like, why is that? And they're like, well, I'm probably going to be going to jail because of, you know, I'm like, okay, well, that explains a lot. So what I did in that case was I had ordered them a book, since I knew they were going to be there for a couple of days, or a little bit more than what they were anticipating. And the book was sent to the jailhouse so that they would stay on top of the thing. And so that person was able to finish up, right? And then also finish up the class, so they didn't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's one circumstance. Another circumstance was I had a student who was in labor and was like adamant about trying to take an exam. And she was like, I'm going to take this exam whether I have this baby or not, but I'm going into labor right now. And, okay, so she actually texted me, and then I brought the exam to her, and she took the exam because she was adamant about taking that exam. She actually got the highest grade in the class for that semester, and she had a baby, and she was back in class in less than 2 weeks. So she was very committed. So
I got no excuse.
I know, you know, it's so funny. My last chemistry class, I knew I was pregnant the whole class, and I had everything scheduled. And I had a C-section. I was there 2 days. I left. And I left the hospital 2 days. I was back in class that same, like that Monday. And I had to walk everything. I was passing my class. We had an ACS exam. And it dropped my grade to 69. So that's why I'm here. So, I mean, it makes sense. You gotta just be, I mean, I was gonna give up, but I said, let me just keep going. Because I know I was so close to finishing. I know I did everything I could. And it happens, yeah.
yeah, life is gonna happen. And that's the moral of the story, is that life is gonna happen, whether you like it or not. Sometimes it's good things and sometimes it's bad things, right? And so the thing is that we've got to work through it. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on this class, and don't give up on me, right? So long as you guys don't do that, you're gonna be okay, okay? So my office hours are gonna be after this class. I'm gonna need a moment to like go pee and, you know, grab a cup of coffee or something like that. But then we'll meet for about an hour, hour and a half, you know, whatever you guys need, really. You know, just kind of let me know. If we need to meet a little bit longer, then we meet a little bit longer, right? I have the time after this class because I'm only teaching this one class, so take advantage of it.
Because normally you never have that much time.
That's true. It is very, very rare. I'm usually going from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. That's the school year is crazy. You know? And especially when you're the only instructor for that subject, you know, the only instructor here for that subject. So I have to wear 50 hats and have to fight 50 battles for the simplest things. Okay, so you've already met Leah. And Julia is also going to be the Mesa tutor. I believe I'll find out if we may have another one just in case as well, but Julia will be working online, and I'll give you her online information. Right now, if you click on that link, it'll actually give you her email address if you guys can make the appointment. Take advantage of the tutors. I'll give you guys a deal. I am willing to give you guys extra credit, or at least 1 point extra credit for if you guys meet with the tutor at least once a week. So we're here for 7 weeks. So then that would be 7 points of extra credit that if you guys meet with the tutor once a week, right? And the reason I say that is because I don't know what it is about students. You know, you have all of these resources that are available to help you, but yet you are so prideful, and, you know, I go there, I'm done, whatever. I don't know what it is. I'm like, fuck it, I'll be done, right? And I was. I'm like, give me the opportunity. Somebody's gonna sit there and help me get through this. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of it, right? I'm not kidding, but I'm serious though. But it's that mentality, and we've got to get over that mentality, that pride. I mean, get rid of it. It's no good. And like, I try to get you guys in groups already, right? That's your study group, right? That's gonna help you get through the exam because, you know, they're sitting in class with you, right? If you don't get something, maybe they do. Ask them, hey, I'm not too ashamed. I'm like, I didn't get a damn thing. What do you say? what do you say? And can you explain that, you know, and stuff like that. And if you don't get something, then, you know, maybe somebody else got it, you know, and understood it. Take advantage of it. You have a lot of knowledge base. And not only that, this is a great way of networking. Sometimes the best way of getting a job, your next job, is by somebody you know, right? And it's like, oh yeah, I was in class, she is really smart. You know, she is very outspoken. She got her stuff done. Oh yeah, let me call her up. There's this opportunity at my place, you know. So it's a great way of sitting there making ties. Networking is essential, you know, to life. Okay, so you guys already know this is Chem 2A. You guys can read the description. You guys already read the description, hopefully. These are your student learning outcomes. Okay, so your outcomes, basically, this is one of the things that you should definitely know by time you move here, right? You should be confident. You know, you should be able to kick some butt in that, right? And it also kind of gives me a way of assessing how well I'm doing, right? It's kind of a check and balance. I need to make sure that I'm teaching you what you need to know and that you guys are grasping it. If you guys are not grasping it, I need to make some adjustments. And this is a good way of letting me know about it. You'll notice the course objectives. We got a shitload of objectives. And believe it or not, you will go over every last one of these, right? By the end of the semester, you can go through the list and you can sit there and check off the things that you've learned, right? And we will go over this. It's gonna be quick. So you guys got to stay with me. Okay, required material, you need your textbook. You're gonna also need an, it's called active learning now, active chemistry subscription. I'll show you how to enroll in that here in a second. You'll get 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks for free, essentially on a trial basis. And then they start charging you for it. I recommend that you get a 3-ring binder. If you haven't noticed, just today you had a shitload of papers, right? You'll notice you're gonna get a daily. And I'm gonna start, like, you know what it is. I'm old school and I know that, right? I know some of you guys like to do everything online and you guys, I cannot read online, right? And I like to write on things, right? I like to okay, I didn't understand any of that. So I like to be able to write. So I'm gonna do you like I like to do because that's what I like. Now, if you're opposed to me killing trees, let me know. I'll print out less, right? So, and I'm sure that my department would love that because they get my paper bill at the end of the semester and they're not happy with me at all. So your exams are proctored. And so since they're proctored, you're gonna have to show a passport, driver's license, or ID. Now, it's gonna be online, sort of. And so you guys are gonna have to be able to go through that process, and I'll show you how to go through that process and give you the instructions. And I have an exam, it's called a faux exam, like a faux hawk. You guys heard of faux hawk before? Fake mohawk, right? Faux hawk. So faux basically means fake, right? So it's a fake exam that you're getting points for. Now, how can you turn your back on that? So basically, there's a program that we use called Proctorial that allows us to sit there and proctor you while you're taking the exam. Now, Proctorial is notorious for constantly having updates. So you're constantly having it updated because people are constantly trying to hack it because it's a proctoring exam. You know, students like, you know, those CS majors are trying to hack it every 5 minutes. And so they're always having issues. It's always breaking down. It's very sensitive. So when you take your exam, you want to plan the time that you take your exam at times that, you know, there's not a lot of activity in your household. If you're in a place where there's a lot of activities, let me know. We can set up you guys take it in a Mason room or something like that. Or we can set up days that you guys can sit there and take it in the classroom. Okay. So just let me know in advance so we can make that arrangement. Okay. Lab coats. We have lab coats for you. But you know, most of you guys are going to be taking science classes the rest of your life, so it doesn't hurt to sit there and get them. I believe in having lab coats because otherwise you spill stuff on you, take it home with you, you don't want to do that, right? And so we want to prevent that from happening. So we have lab coats for you that you guys can check out for the semester, and we'll have that all set up. So, okay, let's check those out, and they're going to be your lab coats for this semester. And at the end of the semester, you're going to have to return them. Okay. Safety goggles. Again, you're going to be taking lab classes. If you have particularly glassware or anything that you need or anything like that, let me know. We have safety goggles for you, but again, you're going to be taking the rest of your semester, so you guys are going into the sciences, so you're not gonna avoid taking those classes, so it doesn't hurt to buy a pair that you like and that, oh, bro, don't you think that look cute on me, you know? So. Okay, so resources. This is a science course, so I love using PubMed. PubMed is it's a journal publication area, so database of all of these different journals. Anytime that you do a type of science type of research, that's where you may want to go to see where you do research. There's also the American Chemical Society. There's TED Talks on chemistry. Chemistry is cool. And then there are a couple of other cases as well. I particularly use YouTube because how many of you guys use YouTube? You guys use it? What do you use? Everything, exactly, right? Everything, right? So when I want to try to fix something in my car, right? I go to YouTube, right? I want to pay up, you know, YouTube is everything. Now, imagine that. You guys can use YouTube for chemistry as well, too, right? So some of my favorite YouTube personality is Miss Melissa Maribel. And then another one is Tyler DeWitt. So I like Melissa Maribel because she makes it very simple to understand. She talks to me and not at me. Tyler DeWitt is good too, but you know, I like Melissa Maribel. That's my favorite. There are tons of YouTube personalities that do chemistry. So find the one that fits your, you know, your taste and use them as a reference. You know, you don't understand something from me, go to them. You know, the key is to get you to understand. And you want to find somebody that can relate to you, that you relate with, right? And so take advantage of all of the resources that are available. I'm like, damn, if I had YouTube when I was in college, there's no telling what I could have done. I would have gotten in a lot more trouble than what I did, but you know, still no telling. So don't limit yourself. Okay, so those are 2 links to my favorite. Plus, I have links to them in my lectures, my modules as well. So lab safety, we'll talk about lab safety in particular. We'll go over it. One of the key things is that we want to make sure that you guys are safe. We'll go over it specifically. I have an agreement that you guys have to sign and all that. So participation and attendance. Well, the labs that we're doing, unfortunately, we have this much time to do this much stuff, right? So if you miss a day of lab, it's going to hurt. If you miss a day of lecture, it's going to hurt. Now, fortunately for you is that the lectures are going to be recorded, so you'll have access to them. And plus, I already have, if you guys look in the YouTubes, it says Henry's YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel, although it should say, you know, I have to get on visual about how you put that in there. But so I have all the lectures that I've done from OChem to General Chem to, you know, so you guys, all of them are available for you guys to look at. So all last semesters are available for you guys to look at. And then what we're going to try to do is have yours available for you guys to look at. So there's no reason, if you miss a lecture, there's no reason that you should fall behind. Okay. We don't want you guys to fall behind. So if you start falling behind, you're in trouble. Okay, so these are the important dates. So you guys will have reading assignments. I'll tell you, okay, you guys need to read chapter 2. I would love you guys to read chapter 2, but I know my students very well. Some of you guys are committed and will actually do the reading. And I love when you guys come in and you've done the reading because it makes the lecture go that much faster, right? When you don't come in and do the reading, that means that I have to take the time to go over some other stuff with you, right? So then that slows us down, right? And our goal is we have this much to cover and this much time. I don't know why they decided to put a big old screen at the very beginning. So the goal is to try to get everything done. So if you guys do what you're supposed to do, it makes things run so smoothly. And then it'll start clicking that much faster. You want it to click, right? I need to do something else because it's driving me crazy. Probably that. Anyway. So I grade on a straight curve. Right? Straight curve. So I don't curve in right, for this class. So what you get is what you get, right? I give you guys a lot of opportunities to sit there and get some extra credit, like we just talked about tutoring, right? Extra credit points. You want to take advantage of every opportunity. Life presents you with opportunities. So we want to take advantage of every opportunity that we get. So if you get a chance to do some extra credit work, do some extra credit work, right? And because at the end, when you come to me and ask me for extra credit, I'm very mean, right? I'll ignore you. Because, you know, my policy is not to give any individual extra credit, right? I give you guys all an opportunity to get extra credit, right? There's no reason that you can't complete this course with the grade that you want, right? You want an A, you work towards that A, right? You work with the tutors. If you don't get it, you be knocking at Leah's door every day. Even when Leah's not at her door, you knock at Leah's door, you know, every day, right? Because it's up to you. If you want that A, you can get that A, right? Now, if you want to settle for a B or a C, you know, that's up to you. That's your choice, right? But it's all based upon opportunities and you taking advantage of those opportunities. So take advantage of those opportunities. And the way I look at it is that I'm not going to curve it because life isn't based on a curve, right? Either you're going to do it or you're not, right? When you guys get into the nursing program, it's either you do it or you don't, right? So this is how you're going to do it. So your homework is going to be 20% of your grade, right? So that's a fifth of your grade. It's got to be your homework. And if you do your homework, you're doing pretty good already, right? Okay, so I give this other thing, I call it career. So what I want you guys to do for your career is to give me a resume because I get opportunities. Somebody tells me that they need a student or they need this. And I'm like, if I have resumes on hand, I can send them those resumes, right? But I also want you guys to give me good resumes. I don't want to be pieces of crap because I don't want to sit there saying, well, yeah, you know, I have these great students and then they have pieces of crap resumes, right? So we're going to go over them a little bit because we want to get you guys prepared for the job market because you guys want jobs, right? Okay, so you need a good resume, right? Or like I like to call them CVs. So once you get to a certain level, we call them CVs. We'll talk about that later. Right? Your exams are also a fifth of your grade, right? So you guys are going to have 3 exams for the summer. Just 3, right? And
What days?
what days? Oh, I'll give you those. Not today. I'm actually going through it right now. Breaking it up, trying to figure it out perfectly, right? Because every time that I say it's going to be here, and then you get shift because, you know, depending on lectures. But I'll give you the specific days and you'll have it. The way it typically works is that I open them up. You'll have a week to get that exam done. You get it done, you go. You don't get it done, I come after you, right? And sometimes I literally will come after you, you know. I know it sounds like the mob or something. That's chemistry for you, right? Okay, participation. I believe that the best way of learning is by participating. That means that you guys have to interact. You got to talk to me, right? Remember, communication, right? I ask you a question, you're going to be able to communicate, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. Acknowledgement, yes. Yes? Communicate, okay, we're going to communicate, right? So your participation points are going to be based upon your communication, your participation, and your discussion. So that means that you got to be able to discuss things and be able to come in and want to talk, right? You can't be shy. How many of you guys are shy? Raise your hand. Go, come on, raise your hand, You're shy, anybody you're shy? That's good, because you know, it's the ones that raising their hands that shy, they get out here in the street. Oh, girl, you know, she's my, you know, they get all loud and everything, like, oh, they're shy, right? But in the class, oh, I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You need to be able to communicate, right? So don't be shy. There's nothing to be shy about. You have a question, look, really, if you have a question, you don't get something, ask it. Because I can guarantee you there's at least 1 or 2 people, or 99% of the people have the same question that you have, but they're too scared to ask. You know, don't be scared, you know, there's no reason. We don't have enough time to be scared. You know, this is summer now, right? 3rd year, you know. Okay, you also have practice tests. I believe in giving you an opportunity to sit there and decide your fate. I put up practice tests. You can do them over and over and over and over again. And you actually, by just doing them, you get points. You get full credit for just by doing them, right? That's 5% of your grade that you're just by doing it. And it's to help you, right? It's to help you get a better grade on that real test. And the real test is going to be based upon the practice test. So do them. You don't know how many people, God, I just want to smack people sometimes. I'm sorry, but some students, they're just like, here, let me put it up in a bow. All you got to do is open it, right? Here, open it. All you got to do is open it. Do you know how many people don't do the practice test?
Sure.
The very first one, the very first exam last semester, I had 60% of the students did not do the practice test. The practice test was up a week and a half before the exam, right? A week and a half, and they still didn't do it, right? And it closed right before the exam, or actually it closed after the exam. As a matter of fact, I give them the opportunity to sit there and do it. Still didn't do it, right? To the day of the exam. You would at least think, okay, let me do the practice exam before I do the real exam, right? Nope. And I'm like, all they had to do was log in and do it, right? No.
Yeah, the practice exams really helped. When I took OChem last semester, I always did the practice exams and it really helped me on my test.
Yeah. And you wouldn't believe, and Leah can attest to this, to some of the students, because they go to her and she's like, you didn't do the practice exam. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. And I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, why even take the class if you're not going to sit there and pretend like you're doing it? Okay, so your final is 15% of your grade. This is like the lowest I've ever made a final. Usually finals are like 25% or stuff like that. I don't know what it is. I must be old, tired, or something, right? I don't know what it is, but take advantage of it, right? It's still 50% of your grade, because that's the difference between an A or a B, right? So you still want to do well on it. And I put up a practice. We had a practice final that we sit there and went over and went through. And so it is the ACS exam. So don't worry, you'll be fine. Don't stress out. We're going to teach you the lingo. You know, that's what it is. Because I'm figuring out what the problem is with my students in the ACS exam. Because I think it's everywhere. Because again, it's that terminology, right? Scientists talk a certain way. And then when you read the question, you're reading it as if they're talking to people who have been doing science their whole life. Like I get it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a piece of cake, right? And then my students are like, what the hell did he just say? And I'm like, so let's figure this out. So don't worry about it. We'll work on that lingo. That's what we're going to do, is call it code switching. Code switching quite a bit.
And then with the ACS for OChem last semester, for us, it was some of the language. I was like, what is the question asking?
Yep. So lab reports, your lab reports are going to be 20% of your grade. Again, fit. So do the lab reports. The way they're going to be set up this semester, you're going to have 4 formal lab reports. If you guys, I believe I handed that out. It says lab reports. Okay, so those 4 lab reports, the formal lab reports, they're going to have to be done in this fashion. Now, I want your raw data, the data that you guys collected during the experiment, that's going to be in your data section, right? But everything else has to be done formally, right? So you can take a picture of your raw data and include that, because I want that raw data, right? And so, and we'll talk about it in a lot more detail, because one of your very first reports will be the Mentos one that I went through. And so we're going to do a formal report for that one, and then we'll walk through it together so you guys get an idea of what it is. And the reason why I do this is because how many of you guys work? Okay, just curious, where do you work at?
Value Foods.
Okay. Okay, and you work at?
Oh, the main hospital.
Okay, and you work at? Okay. Okay, so how many of you guys have to keep logs? Logs. Inventory. Inventory, okay. How many of you guys have to write reports? Okay. So, the jobs that you guys are going to go into, you guys are going into nursing. You're going to have to keep charts, logs, reports. And so what I want you guys to get used to is keeping track of data, right? Because you're going to keep track of that patient pooped today, right? Did they take their meds? Did they spit out their meds? Did they, so you're going to have to get used to sit there and writing things down. And so I want to make sure that you guys are able to sit there and do that pretty well. That's the reason we only do 4 is because I have to read them all, and it takes a while to read them all. But your other labs are just going to be simple. You're filling out the lab report, taking a picture and uploading it. Right? And the reason why I have you take a picture and upload it, because I lose paper, and then I don't want you to say I lost your paper, right? And so, because I am kind of forgetful, getting old, you know, so prepare for that. So. The last part is your group project. Your group project is 12% of your grade. Now, again, this is that's a letter grade, right? 10% of it. That's the difference between an A and a B or a C and a D, right? And most of you guys want to pass this class, right? Everybody agrees to that? Anybody not want to pass this class? Let me know now, because I can accommodate you now, Yeah. But everybody wants to pass, right? That's our goal. That's why we're here. We're taking it today. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are an active member of our group project. You guys have your groups today, which you guys are going to give me so I can plug them in. Now, this is your group for your group project, right? And it's important that you guys start interacting and start figuring out what you guys are going to do. And I'll start giving you genres because now I have an idea of the type of music you like. And so I'll really bust your focus because you're not going to get the music that you're used to. It's probably going to be something that you're not. So, because I like to be fun, creative. But I want you guys to be fun and creative and out of your comfort zones, right? How many of you guys are already out of your comfort zones? You're like, I went to this damn class. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone, right? Anybody in their comfort zone? This is your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Okay, good, okay, good. Okay, we talked about extra credit a little bit. So I do give extra credit. Usually it's on exams. It's by participating in events. I want you guys to sit there and try to get the most out of your college experience as possible. I know it's in the summer. There aren't a lot of events happening. Occasionally we do have things that are happening, and we want to make sure that you guys are interactive. We also want to give you guys exposure to things that you're not necessarily used to, right? And sometimes it's not necessarily things that you agree with, right? But that's the best part of life, is that you're getting exposure to things that are new to you and that you don't agree with. You get to learn something new about. It's okay to learn new things, right? So I will often refer to that. Now, my computer and network policy. I am not a computer guy. Now, I can use computers. I can break computers. I'm really good at breaking. This one I've been wanting to break for like a while, and I want to push out the window because it gives me so many problems. So if you're having technical issues, like again, with Factorial, that's another case. The best person to talk to if you're having technical issues with your computer is IT, right? Which they have a help desk. And I know it doesn't help if your computer isn't working and you need to contact the help desk, ask a friend. The other thing is Proctorial. If you're working, having issues with Proctorial, they have a help desk at Proctorial so that they'll be able to help. They can help you because it's their program. I can help you probably mess up your computer a little bit more, right? So that you'll need more help after I'm done, right? So that's not my thing. I can blow stuff up. I'm really good at that, right? That's just some computers. That's another thing. Withdrawal policy. So as you guys saw that important dates, one of those things is dropping, right? I don't want any of you guys to drop. And okay, I don't know what it is. Again, things that students do that don't make sense. Now I have students that are doing well in the class, right? Or they don't think they're doing well, but they're doing okay. They're still at that point where they can do well if they just did a little bit more. And they'll drop my class, right? And they'll do everything to dodge me and not talk to me about it, right? Come and talk to me first before you decide to drop the class. Because a lot of times you may be thinking you're doing horrible, but you're not really doing horrible, right? You're going to be okay, right? Because there's still a lot of factors to take into consideration. You're participating in class, you're doing the homework, you're doing, and then you get all worked up and, high strung, and just relax sometimes, just relax, come and talk to me. We can talk you through. And then even if you're like that borderline and you think, come and talk to me. And I'll be honest with you. I'm very good at being honest sometimes. To a fault. I will let you know. If you're fucking up, I'll let you know. Right? But if you're doing well, I'll let you know, And then sometimes I'm like, sometimes. Okay. Academic honesty. So if you guys can do me a favor, there's a paper. It says lab safety rules. Everybody got that one? Okay, so if you guys look towards the back of that, there's an academic honesty contract. So you guys are making a contract with me, but you guys understand that I expect you guys to, now, again, don't misinterpret group work with cheating, right? We know the difference between cheating. Cheating is when, what's that answer, you know, and you copy the answers. Now, group work is like you guys are getting together and you're working on it together. Each of you guys are getting a little bit, right? No, I don't understand that. Explain that. That's group work, right? Cheating is, I didn't do my homework. I need all the answers. You do the answers, right? We know the distinction, right? How many of you guys don't know the distinction between cheating? Nobody? We all been through it before, right? I expect you guys to do your work, right? But you guys can work in groups. I strongly encourage you guys to work in groups. And I mean, it gets through so much faster. You guys are able to help each other through the process, right? But I don't expect you guys to cheat, right? And believe me, I've had situations where people cheat. I mean, there have been some blatant cases. I had a group of high school students that thought they were pretty damn smart. So they were going to take my exam. So what they would do, they would call it sacrifice, right? So one student would sacrifice, they would take the exam early. And then all the other students would get the answers to the exam. But the only thing is that my exams is not the same for everyone, right? And so they thought they were being pretty damn smart. So then I noticed that all of them had the same pattern to the exam, right? And so they really did sacrifice, right? So 90% of the students failed the class, right? That very first test. So that means 10% of them passed, right? Who actually done their own work. So then you think that they've learned from that, right? Or she said, failed the class, failed that exam. You thought they would learn from it. They tried to do it again, right? And I'm like, now, how smart were you? It didn't work the first time, but yet, no, this time they decided they were going to do two people who were going to sacrifice, right? And they tried exactly the same thing, and they were trying to compare the answers, right? And so, same thing, this time, 50%, right? So I ended up failing half that class at the end of the semester. And the thing is that normally my cheating policy is that I catch you cheating once, right? Then we're gonna have a discussion. One opportunity, right? I hate cheaters. There's a story behind me why I hate cheaters. I'll give it to you in a second. But I really, really hate cheaters. And I catch you cheating, you're gonna be on my list, right? So I'm gonna give you an opportunity. You get a 0 for that, right? But you get to stay in the class. I get you cheating twice. I'm kicking you out of my class, and I'm trying to kick out of school, right? Because then you insulted me, so hurt my feelings, right? Not once, but twice. Right? I'm not gonna give you the third time. I don't like it. It's not cool. Now let me give you a little history. When I was in college, I was accused of cheating because I had given this kid named Julio my labs, and he was copying everything straight. You know, and he was in our group. It was me, Patty, and Julio. Me and Patty, we get together and we look at our lab reports and stuff like that. And we do ours independently. And Julio would never do his lab, right? And he waits last minute, I was gonna copy it. And he copied it verbatim, word for word. And so then the TA calls me. They call Julio. I have to say, Julio was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. You would never know that he was Julio if you had looked at him, right? And she loved Julio. Oh, she loved blonde-haired, blue-eyed guys. She was just enamored. She just found that Julio walked on, she loved. Now, maybe a black kid, of course, who's going to be the one that's cheating? Or Julio, right? Okay. So she calls me in, and I know you could cheat. I'm like, what do you mean by you know I've been cheating? You know, I'm like, oh, chemistry is my wheelhouse. This is what I do, right? I'm good at this, right? I had taken the AP test and everything like that. I was a year ahead, technically, semester ahead in chemistry. I got into honors chemistry. Again, she was going to accuse me of cheating. I'm being a little personal. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, right? So I get a little pissed off, right? A little annoyed. And so I kind of snapped at her. I'm like, why are you accusing me of cheating? I said, you're going to accuse me of cheating. Why isn't Julio cheating, right? Well, Julio would never cheat. Well, why wouldn't Julio never cheat? Right? Oh, because he blonde haired and blue eyed. That's why Julio would never cheat. So I was a little annoyed. And so she took it to the instructor. She's the TA. She took it to the instructor. So the instructor proceeds to give me an oral test on what we were talking about. I'm like, okay, I knew my material. I did the lab report. I did most of the lab report anyway, right? So I knew my material back and forth. And so I said, and then he's like, oh, okay, we're so sorry for this and all this. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? And I'm thinking, this is kind of messed up, right? It's kind of fucked up, right? I'm thinking, I should quit, fuck school, right? But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I've worked too hard to get here. Say, fuck them, right? The very next semester, Julio gets caught cheating in physics, doing exactly the same thing, only thing on the exam. It's a back row cheating. Julio didn't get suspended. The other kids got suspended, right? They got kicked out of school and everything like that. Julio did because he turned them in, right? And so it is a thing. I hate cheaters, right? One of the reasons I hate cheaters is because of Julio. To this day, I hate fucking Julio, right? I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, and this guy has been able to sit there and cheat his way through most of life, There's something it's gonna catch up with him one day, Eventually he did, so.
Where's he now? What's
Oh,
he
he's in
doing?
jail. So.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, for cheating, right? He embezzled some money, so.
Oh,
Yeah, so, yeah, he did, yes. Oh, yeah. And be named Julio, right?
I was gonna say that.
Yep. Okay, so I believe in opportunities, right? And this is one of the reasons why I don't think you should worry about cheating, right? Is because I give you one opportunity. We all have those instances where things go bad for us, right? We had a bad night, we go out drinking, do some crazy stuff, right? We get sick, we're not feeling well, or we just get kind of worked up, right? So I give you guys one opportunity. I give you guys the opportunity of doing the test correction. The way the test correction works is there's 3 parts to it. You tell me the reason why your answer is wrong. Well, let me give you the math behind it. Let's see. Okay, so let's say you get a 50 on your exam. 50 out of 100. 100 points. So how many points do you have left over? How many points did you miss? 50. Okay. So I've missed 50 points. Now, if I take half that 50, 50 divided by 2 is what? Okay. And I add that to the 50 that I had. Okay. Now, $75, would that be a passing grade? Okay. So the way the test correction works is that you can get half the points back for what you missed on the exam. Had a bad day, just didn't get a chance to study the way you wanted to. You get freaked out, you worked yourself up, you still can get a passing grade. Okay. Now the key is to do the test correction. Again, 3 parts. It's going to be the reason why your answer is incorrect, the correct answer, and why your correct answer is correct. Now, I had a student, oh God, I just wanted to strangle her. I told them, I said, just look at on the syllabus, it tells you exactly what you need to do. And then I tell them what not to do, right? One of those things I really hate is that, well, things that Mary helped me, so I know the answer is correct, right? So instead of saying Mary helped me, I know the answer is correct. I talked to the TA, thank you, TA, right? And then the answer was incorrect still, right? I'm like, damn, you didn't talk to the TA. If you did, that TA needs to be fired, right? And I'm like, again, when I ask for you, I want to know the reason why your answer is incorrect, right? Tell me why it's incorrect, right? So what was it that you did wrong? Was it that you didn't know the name of the chemical compound, or you mixed up sodium for nitrogen? You know, what was it that you specifically did wrong? Right? You want to be more detailed. And it should be it should be twice the amount of work, 3 times the amount of work than what you've done. I mean, you're paying a price in a sense, paying to fit them. So things that are not acceptable are these things, right? Okay, so I don't want you to tell me, you know, Mary told me, you know, the answer is correct. So I know it's correct. And then I don't know, so I guessed. Right? There's obvious reasons why you guessed. Why did you choose that one? Right? It looked more correct than the others, you know, there had to be a reason, right? And then another one that I get a lot is that I didn't have the correct equation. So I used the wrong equation. Oh shit, you didn't have the correct equation. You used the wrong equation because that's what you got. Then show me and do the correction. So this is what I'm expecting. Something like this, right? So why it's incorrect? So give me a reason. You know, obviously I used the wrong equation. This is the wrong equation that I used. Okay, and I made these assumptions which were not right. Okay, so this would be the correct answer, and then this is how it's correct. And often, if you work out the problem, it will give you the correct answer, right? And so you've already done part 2 and 3 once again. Okay. So take advantage of that. Again, how many people do you think? So out of what semester did I have? Between 3 classes, what is it? 100? I had about 105 students between 3 classes. Out of 105 students, how many do you think use test corrections?
5.
Right. That's actually pretty good. You guys are pretty good. It's actually 7. Right? 7, right? And again, I'm like, okay, now you want an A, right, at the end. And there were some people that were like, you know, half a point, 2 points, and I'm an asshole. Sorry, you're half a point away, but you didn't turn in test corrections. Right? Tough. You didn't want that A, right? So, because again, it's an opportunity. Take advantage of all your opportunities.
And that's only for one exam. We can use it one time.
Only one time. Yep. One and done. Okay, so these are the expectations. So there will be homework assignments. There are going to be readings. Do your readings. Stay on top of the class. Don't fall behind. As soon as you start falling behind, you're going to be in trouble. Right? You want to try to stay on top of the class. You want to do your Chem 101. I'm sorry, active learning. Right?
Sorry, where's the restroom at over here?
It is.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. If you go out this door, you turn down the hall, and then keep walking down. There's a big men's bathroom, and then around the corner is the women's bathroom. So. Okay, I'll see you. Do your practice exam. Let's see. Anything that I give you guys to review, and I will often say, this will be on the exam. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be on the exam. Late work. Okay, so you will have the opportunity to do late work for your homework assignments. For your labs, you won't be able to make up those labs. Your exams, if you talk to me in advance, there's something that's going on, you won't be able to get that exam done. Literally, you have a week to get it done, you should be able to get it done. But if you can't get it done, something happens. Computer goes out, the computer falls out the window. Let me know, right? Let me know and I will work with you, right? I will find you a solution, okay? Do not procrastinate. Procrastination is the death of all of us, you know? Believe me, I'm a big procrastinator. I hate when I do it, but it happens, right? You want to try to keep from that happening. Gotta stay on top of it. Yes. So if you need a little help, right? Let's say you have anxiety, you have issues with taking notes and retaining things, you may want to see about going to the DSPS Center. and try to get accommodations. One of the reasons why I always encourage people to go is because they have really cool tools, right? So they have a pen that actually does recordings for you for your lectures and stuff like that. And so that you take notes, it'll actually record that portion that you're taking. It'll play it back to you. And so you'll be able to sit there and listen to it. So they have a lot of high-tech means of help, right? They also provide note takers if you need a note taker. And so take advantage again of all the opportunities. So don't look at it as a disability. You know. There's Mesa, and I will take you guys to the Mesa facilities in a second. Because I want you guys to make use of that room. It's a great place to get a group of people to study, to get work done, to get things knocked out of the way. Health and wellness. You know, we've been in the midst of COVID for now, what is it, two and a half years roughly. Okay. And some of us still haven't quite gotten everything back to normal. You know, it's like, I feel like things are never normal. It's all still kind of crazy. People are still acting crazy. And so there's a lot of tension, right? And so sometimes we may need somebody to talk to or some help along the way. And so what we have is an app called Timely Care. And so where we have people that are willing counselors and things like that, willing to talk to us and help us out as needed. You know, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So sometimes we may need that little extra help. So let's take advantage of it. Title IX. So if you feel that you've been violated, discriminated, and harassed in any way, we have policies that are there for your protection. And one of those is by talking to the Title IX coordinator, which is our dean of students, student services, Javier Caceres. This is his contact information. This is his link to his email. This is his number. And then this is also the policy itself, so you guys can take it. Classroom courtesy. So if you need to make a phone call, walk out the door, you know, be courteous to me, you know, and answer it outside. Great. If you're coming in late, if you guys can do me a favor, just kind of, you know, come in, sit down and everything like that, but don't make a big old ruckus for coming in and stuff. You know, usually I'm in the middle of it. Now, if you're late, don't expect me to go back and do everything that we just did, right? You got to catch those videos like this, okay? Questions? Okay, good. So this will be corrected. I don't know why I'm showing things that are from 2021, so we'll be fixing that. So your labs and everything will be updated. You already have your first homework assignments. So how many of you guys actually have your laptops available? So if you guys can do me a favor, pull out your laptops. Those who do not have laptops, don't worry, I got laptops. Give me a second.
How do you not see the Wi-Fi? Sorry, what? That's yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else need a laptop? Get me chargers as well.
I have a question. So for the book, do you have to have that book specific, or can you use a different intro to chemistry book?
You can use a different book, you know, as long as I prefer using Promise, but if you're not using Promise, that's okay. You can use any book. I mean, right, most of the books say exactly the same thing. It's just how they say it,
So,
right? The thing I like about Corrales is because some of the examples that they give, it makes sense, right? And although some of the reading is boring, certain chapters are really boring as hell, right? But I think they do a better job of, kind of making it understandable than other things. Like, there's the open stacks book. It's okay, but it's not a good read,
Let me show you the cover of the one. I have.
Anybody else need a laptop? Okay.
This is the one I have, right here.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
You just gotta correlate with the chapter stuff.
Okay.
Anybody? Oh, Charlie. Okay, so. Guys go into modules. So that very first tab has all of our lectures, all the recorded lectures that I've done for last semester. So anything that you want to get ahead on or anything like that, fine. So if you guys go to active learning, if you guys click on for that link, oh, wrong one. Let me grab another.
Yes.
Oh, try this.
It's not, yeah, for the active. Or not just.
Okay, you guys are gonna get homework assignments 3 times a week. Okay, so if you go ahead and hit load active learning. And you want to use Chrome. I will tell you guys that in advance. You want to use Chrome for everything. So this will take you to the class. So these are your homework assignments. The first 3 homework assignments are already up. I'll be putting up, we're going to try to put them all up. So you guys, if you're feeling anxious and you have some extra time on the weekend and stuff like that, and you want to get ahead, you'll be able to get ahead. Okay. And again, the lectures are all up there. So if you want to get ahead, you can get ahead.
When do you recommend starting the assignments?
ASAP.
Today.
Yes, today, exactly. So do the very first one, they should take you a minute, right? Because all it is like, I agree that I won't cheat and all those things, right?
You're telling me to do it right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, that's all good, okay.
And use Chrome.
I learned the lesson. Not to use Chrome for anything.
Yes. Okay, everybody's logged in. You're good. You're not. You need help.
You said go to where again? I'm sorry.
Go to modules.
This is where we do all the homework.
Yep, that's where all your homework is going to be. Very good.
When I first logged in, it just showed that. That's why I
Slowly. Yeah. Okay, there's.
I just need to see that.
Okay, so did everybody get logged in? Anybody having trouble?
It was I don't want to.
Yeah, it's happening.
So I'm sorry, we said go where again? I'm trying to find my student. I don't know.
Student ID. So let's go.
You know what? It's like the hereditary. No? Yeah, hereditary. My friend had it, I was like, my friend doing the seat. I wanted to. Yeah. I don't have a hair club. The carbohydrates. Right now, I'll go with the solid. Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like there's like.
When I back her, it's like working.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a Ruby camera?
No.
I was gonna say, don't rely on that thing.
Okay, everybody's in?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I was with my mom for school this time, and I go to this camp, no one ever got back.
Okay.
I do that on my camera too.
So our first homework. First real homework. First one wasn't really a homework, that's a freebie, right? Freebie in terms of points. So let's go ahead and take a, say, 5 minute, 10-minute break? 10-minute break, is that good? 10?
11.
15
15.
minute break? Okay, so let's take a little bit of a break, walk outside. Go run to the store, do what you need to do. Right? So I'll give you guys a 15-minute break, then we'll come back.
I don't even know why.
We'll start talking about labs. Hey, you guys at home, we're taking a 15-minute break. We'll be right back.
Why do I have to take?
What store did you go to? What store did you go to?
What? We're having a Starbucks there.
I just saw my bathroom.
Pre-order.
I like good stuff.
Well, no, he's just at this here.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's down the street.
Starbucks?
Yeah. Do you drive your mother?
Oh, you.
Wait, do you your bag?
Yeah.
That's not your class.
I was supposed to take it back there. I mean, I'm not in the rush. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, no, I was looking at these right here. You have to remember all of them?
No, you don't have to, it's just helps a lot.
Almost.
Yeah. I mean, flashcards. Yeah. And it's also on. They have like the flashcard already made on the like the file type. You can do it through there.
Yeah, I think I see it. It's a lot faster.
Yeah.
I think like right that
So what I did with the flashcards is on the front, I didn't put the name of it. And so like, let's say I can't keep remembering that same one, then I have to write it in the back. So just saying it's actually right. So I'm using that as a flashcard. That's all. Easy. Yeah, definitely. This class, like the group that I had, we all help each other as well. We all ended up understanding.
Laughing, you can jump out of it.
Yeah. You messaged me back, so messages. And I saw his message. Yeah, they're good.
There, like right there.
We're doing the final questions. Or
I don't like one to the other one because I don't know if they can get into it.
that's hotspot myself. This, yeah. So every time it kicks me out, I hate having to log back in. It just makes me not want to bring my laptop. So I can see that much with my.
No, people tell me that, but no. Down, you can go with it. That's the Brussels.
My class once he starts teaching.
Hopefully that gets so into it that I pass the class.
You got it, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There's something to do. Well, how do you have this? Constance, you're everything. Special accents, like, there's a lot of- And they break it down here, they have like a whiteboard there too, so we're writing.
I'm going and getting my student ID, but. Yeah.
I don't think we'll need it. It's I thought we're gonna need it. So long, so it's not-
Yeah, but you never know what takes. What makes it take. Well, like some restaurants do. Dispensary students.
we have the market. The first one that he's supposed to do that. The second one, it would be after he teaches this.
Yeah, but I can't figure out what we're supposed to do.
I'll just copy and paste the ID. ISBN. Copy and paste the ISBN. Syllabus. Or I might get the program and also tell it.
No, I'm doing the IOPS.
Oh, EOPS?
Yeah.
I did that in the evening wrong, but so I just started getting my books. And then just like,
I want one to like the guest Wi-Fi. Probably go to the office.
well, so I talked to a tutor about it before and she's like, it's just the way it is. She's like, that's just, yeah, it happens there.
Maybe you
Okay,
get
that
the
sucks.
chemistry book online.
To buy.
Oh, wait, no, to rent.
Either way, it's good.
To buy it, it's $74.
Well, it's still not like. Just sell it back as opposed to. Or sometimes, you know where they have them?
Or you could buy it used and it's $59.
Also, new was $70.
Yeah, new is $74.94. To rent it, it's $23.35. And to buy it, it's well, the only way you can rent it is if you have like paying for it.
He doesn't check it. Oh, it's nice.
What choose? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I would like to. Your details are. Yeah, I like keeping those because when you guys obtain this, they sell it for dollars. I said when you guys become famous.
Doesn't
Yeah,
it order a battery go?
so then I can sell it for millions of dollars. You toss it?
No, it's just, every time I write down the questions, I try to do it fast, so I kind of like.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. So you want one with our group and then our individuals?
Mhm.
Okay.
or is this like individual paper? Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna take this every day?
We'll talk about that.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Where's the camera that follows you around?
Yes, it does.
Where is it?
It's right
Come this way so I can see myself.
there. Okay.
I just want to make sure I don't look crazy. No, crazy.
It's all right.
Where is it? Okay.
Push the
Scared
corner.
mentally. There, yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I never go this way. I think they will.
Okay.
Here's
let's-
all the verbal.
You know what?
Yeah, I didn't bring things down. Well, they were taking forever.
So Brenda, Jennifer. Stop. Sorry, I butchered your name, correctly, please. And yes, you guys are a group, all you guys that are on Canvas, you guys are a single group. Okay,
Okay.
so that's gonna be your group project, right? I mean, the group for your group project. Okay, so I expect to see you guys in class tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Good, good. Okay, so let's talk about the lab. We're in the lab part of the class. We're gonna be talking about lab. So let's talk about lab safety. You guys have the handout. I'll be pulling this up for you guys to look at in a second.
I have a question. When you start the homework, do you have to finish it or do you go in and out of it?
You can go into that. Yeah. And so you can start it and then you can do like 1 or 2 problems, and you can come back and, finish it up. So it's kind of cool. And oh, here's the best part is I haven't got to that. So once everybody are already logged in, you're already part of it, you're on the list, right? Now, how many of you guys have cell phones? You guys have them with you?
Yeah.
Can you guys pull them out? Okay, so if you go to active learning or active, and it's AK.
Is it an app?
It's yeah, it's an app. AKT. Yeah, I want everybody. There's the pet grass. I love it. Okay, if you log in, you should be able to see your homeworks. Now, I love the fact that it's on the phone, right? Because how many of you guys take the phone to the bathroom with you? Be honest. Yeah, exactly, right? Well, instead of doing TikTok, you can do your homework, right? It is the best place to do homework because not too many people are going to be coming in, bothering you while you're on the toilet, right? Usually like, it's too smelly, So take advantage of that. You think I'm kidding? My girlfriend has an 8-year-old, and he believes in needs constant attention all the time. And so the only chance that I get to have peace of mind is when I go to the toilet, and that's it. And that's maybe because it's really smelly in there. He doesn't want to be in there, So take advantage of those opportunities.
Whenever my mom goes to the bathroom, she's in there for a long time, I like to scratch the door. My toothbrush is in there.
Well, hopefully she's not using your toothbrush while she goes to the bathroom.
My son just says no shade. He's 3, so they'll just open it.
Walk in.
And then he'll hand me his cup or the remote, or whatever he wants, and then just sticks it.
Okay, so let's talk about homework assignment, very first one. Let me give you guys a little guidance.
So is this the thing that we have? Oh, I see, never mind.
See it?
Sorry, what? No, I was wondering.
Okay, so at some point, you guys are gonna have to do what we call list dot structures. List structures. Okay, the way that it works in this program, the program is pretty straightforward. This is your periodic table. You guys all have a periodic table, right? You guys have a periodic table? Oh, you want to see where I got this from? Yes. So if you guys go under student view, it'll be under free draw.
I just have a question. Sorry.
It'll say free draw for you guys. Does it say free draw for you? Don't see it. It'll be under, go under the maintenance key, the settings key. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you go under settings, it'll look like a credit card. And you get free draw. Somebody else had a question? And if you guys at home, if you guys have a question, just chime in. Okay, so if you double click on it, it'll bring up the periodic table. So this allows us to pick out the element that we want, right? So let's say we want carbon. Okay, C for carbon. Okay. And let's say it's going to be attached to oxygen. Okay. So if I'm putting electrons on oxygen, I just hit the electrons. And then if I want bonds between the oxygen and the carbon, I click on the bond. Then I want to put electrons on the carbon. Okay, so this here is called the Lewis dot structure. We're not going to get to this until a little bit later, but I just wanted you guys to know that you can play around with the toys on there. And this gets you used to using some of the materials that are on. Okay, so let's go to some of the problems. So the class is that first tab. Any time that we're going to have activities that we're going to be doing in class, right? You're going to come here. I'll say, okay, we're going to be able to do this. Pull out your phones, give me your answers, and you guys give me your answers. Okay. The homework, you guys are already familiar with. So this is your very first homework assignment. So to go ahead, that first term, homogeneous. Anybody knows what homogeneous is? Excellent. This is exactly what I needed to know. Anybody want to take a guess? Homogeneous.
Like something actually.
Same type. Okay, sounds good. Same type. So homogeneous basically means that it's a mixture that looks exactly the same. So if I have water and vodka and I put it together, doesn't water look like vodka? Everybody seen water and vodka before? Anybody not seen water and vodka?
I used to put water in my mom's pocket.
You used to pour my okay. Okay. Yes, exactly. Try to keep your level off a little bit, you know. Okay, so that would be homogeneous, right? So if we went through, now what would be the best term for homogeneous?
A.
So it says homogeneous mixture is also called a solution, a pure substance, a heterogeneous mixture, a liquid. So you said an A, right?
Solution.
Right answer, right? Okay, so often I'll give you multiple attempts. Sometimes multiple choice. I'm like, if you can't get it after the fourth attempt, you know, there's only 4 choices, right? You know, maybe we should think about this, right? But there are other times that you're going to need more than that 1 attempt. Okay. The key is I want you to learn, right? So don't just go up and just pick things because of picking, right? Try to think about it. What do you think it means? So if homogeneous means, or homogeneous means all looking the same, heterogeneous must be what? Opposite or different, right? So a heterogeneous solution. So let me give you an example. So if I put salt and sugar together, would that be homogeneous or heterogeneous? Okay, now if I put salt and pepper together, would that be homogeneous or heterogeneous? Okay, so that's an example of homogeneous and heterogeneous. Now that refers to mixtures. Mixtures meaning 2 things that we're putting together that stay independent. Now there's a difference between a reaction, chemical reaction, and a physical reaction, right? So they can follow me around. Camera, with me? Okay, good. Okay, just making sure my camera's on, right? I like to get the center of attention. Okay, so homogeneous, like we said, and heterogeneous refers to mixtures, right? That suggests that there isn't a chemical reaction that's occurring. These guys they're independent chemicals that we're adding together. Have you guys tried something? Sure, right? Sure. Okay. So soda, is that homogeneous or heterogeneous? There's them right there. Homogeneous or heterogeneous?
Hetero, right? It says a lot of mixtures and stuff, right?
But is it just the fact that it's a mixture? Does that make it hetero?
So it's.
What do you see? What does that soda look like? Can you see different things in there? Are you that good? You can see the sugar and the water and the independently? Are your eyes that good? Mine are. I'm halfway blind, you know, one eye and then the other 2, you know? So it looks exactly the same, right? All the same means what again? Homogeneous, yeah, homogeneous, right? Homogeneous, right? All the same, okay? So we know that that's an homogeneous mixture, but we know that there's sugar in there. There's a little bit of acid in there. There's a little bit of water, a lot of water, right? Probably 50 million other things in there too, right? You guys said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? So that means that it is a homogeneous mixture. They're not reacting with each other. There's also what makes it bubble?
Carbonation.
Carbonation. What is carbonation? CO2, right? So carbonation is carbon dioxide, CO2, right? So we put carbon dioxide in there. Can you tell that there's carbon dioxide in there? That was probably fat, as a matter of fact, it's been here the whole summer, just a week, you know. So anyway, so carbonation. We know that there's soda is carbonated. Now, how does that carbonation get in? And how does it stay in? Pressure. Okay, so pressure. So we know that if we open it up, it starts to come out. Some of the bubbles, you start seeing a little bit of bubbles, right? Okay, but there's still some soda. It's not flat immediately, is it? It's not.
What did you say?
I said it's not flat immediately, right? Soda isn't flat immediately,
When
right?
air gets in there, or when it sits out.
When it's a long time, it's been sitting out, right? So we can keep soda for a couple of days and it'll still be carbonated. Why is it carbonated?
It's mixed with all the other elements.
Oh, it mixes. So it's also being mixed in that solution. So it's part of that solution as well. Yeah, no. Okay, so it's part of that solution. So there's something that keeps it in there. That process of keeping it in there is called solubility. It's soluble, right? Soluble, kind of like sugar and water, right? If we put sugar and water, as long as we don't have too much sugar, we stir it in there, it dissolves in the water. It's soluble in water, right? So why do you think it makes it soluble? What makes it soluble? Take a guess. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Get used to it.
What's the question?
What makes it soluble? CO2? So-
what makes the CO2?
What makes the CO2 soluble?
The other chemicals.
Oh, wait. That's not bad. She said the other chemicals. So depending on what chemicals are in there, it's going to be more or less soluble and how they interact with each other. So you're telling me, wait, let me make sure I understand this right. You're telling me that there's interaction between chemicals that aren't chemically interacting.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that
Okay.
sounds about right.
That sounds good. Okay, so those are good premises, right? So now you guys are gonna be doing a lab tomorrow, right? That we're gonna kind of test this theory, okay? You guys know what the theory is, right? What is the theory? Okay, educated guess. Okay, so we're gonna test that theory, okay? Tomorrow.
They're just over lab.
Yes, we're gonna get to that. We'll get to the fun part now, right? So we gotta talk about the lab, but I wanted to go over the homework so you guys can understand if you guys can do the homework, right? Get started on it. Okay, so let's talk about the lab. Let's talk about the dress code. Okay, so lab safety rules. Let's go over lab safety and we'll talk about the dress code. Right? So for lab, you guys are expected to wear closed-toe shoes, no Crocs. I know they're really cute and they're really comfortable, but please don't wear your Crocs, right? Because a lot of times your Crocs don't have anything in the back. Sometimes they have little openings in the front. Those are not going to be protected. Okay? We want to make sure that you guys are protected. I always refer you guys to wear pants. You guys are going to be working with real chemicals while you're in the class. Can you guys hear me as I talk? As I move around.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so I prefer pants, because if you spill something on you, and I really hate these desks because I think they're way too low, but it is summer and it is really, really hot, right? And I recognize that. So you can wear shorts and everything, but always make sure that you're going to be having your lab coats on. And then when you're doing the lab, do it standing up. Okay? And the reason why I say do it standing up, because it's really hard to spill something on you if you're standing up. If you're sitting down, right, it's real easy. And believe me, you'll be sitting there, no, and knock it all over yourself, and then you have acid on yourself. And it's not good to have acid on. Okay, you guys are going to be working with various dangerous chemicals. There are chemicals that aren't so dangerous. There are a lot of chemicals that are dangerous. So some of those chemicals are even in your household that are pretty dangerous. So we want to handle it with care. You always want to make sure you have your PPE, your goggles, your gloves, and your eye. Okay, so that's going to keep you safe. And the goal is to kind of keep you guys safe. We don't want you guys to hurt each other physically with chemicals, and we don't want you to blow anything up. So we need you to follow instructions. And believe me, last semester, well, we only had one incident. I teach at another campus, and we had 4 incidents of things blowing up because people did not follow instructions. And you would think after the first time they would learn their lesson. It wasn't the same group. At least it was different groups each time, you know. But I think after the 4th time, it took them 4 times to actually get it, you know. Okay. So follow instructions are important, so you need to have ideas of what you're doing in the lab. Often I will give you the lab in advance. This week, I won't give you the lab in advance, but all next week's lab should be in advance. So, okay. Questions so far? Okay, so let's talk about lab safety. So I'm going to go through this list in my own kind of way, right? Now, you want to use good judgment, common sense, most cases, right? Certain things that you don't want to do, right? One of the things is that you don't want to do is eat chemicals, right? So you don't want to spoon feed yourself chemicals or anything like that. Common sense, right? So you don't go around eating Tide Pods, right? Right? Because we know that people have done stupid things like that, right? How much sense is that, right? It washes your clothes. What do you think it's going to do to your inside, right? Well, it's not going to be so good, right? So common sense type of things. We want you to use a little bit of common sense as well. I know you guys have it. Sometimes we don't want to exercise it, but we do all have common sense, okay? So we're going to talk about some of those common sense types of things, right? Talk to you guys about the safety goggles. You guys will have safety goggles. Even if you have glasses, because you need that side protection, wherever the guys. Goggles for you that will work, right? They adjust a bit and work around your glasses, okay? We want to make sure that you're able to see, and then also that you're able to keep your eyes just in case something happens. And things do happen. You know, in the best circumstances, things are going to happen. In the worst circumstances, things are going to happen. We just got to be prepared, okay? So, safety goggles, gloves. Always wear gloves in labs. The other thing that you want to make an assumption. Assuming, although you guys will be the only class in here in the summer, right? But assume that there is another class in here. So you want to make sure that when you come in, clean up, you start cleaning up, go down, right? And then when you guys finish, you want to clean up, right? Because I'm not your mama. I'm not cleaning up after you. If you don't clean up, I'm giving you an F on your lap, right? It's just that simple. I hate cleaning. I hate cleaning for myself, right? So I don't want to clean up after you, you know. So always clean up. Let's see. You want to familiarize yourself with safety, our safety station. So for instance, although I'm not going to pull down on this today, so this is the safety shower. Now let me give you a little history about our safety shower. Our safety shower is, we often have to, drain it. You guys can take photos of the brown spots there, right? That's because the water that comes out is brown, unfortunately. So often what we'll do, kind of clean it out every month. We'll go through, you know, and spray it out because the pipes are kind of old and rusty and all of that stuff. Now, that has metallic particles in it. A lot of the chemicals that we're working with also react with metallic particles. This is a problem, right? And so this is some of the issues that we deal with. And so that's why it's kind of important to make sure that we don't have brown water coming out of it. Believe me, I'm wearing 2 shirts already, you know, with that brown water. So, and I'm trying to get them to work on it. It's a really big issue. They don't understand that chemicals react with other chemicals. You know, it's just something that is not totally understandable by some administrators working on it.
But they're administrators for a college.
What was that?
They're administrators for a college, they don't understand that.
There's it's a little complicated, you know, it's a little complicated. They always try to work on that budget, you know, it's like, oh, you know, so we're working on that, you know. So this is your eye wash. The eye wash is a little bit better. Plumbing was done a little bit better than the plumbing for the shower. And the eye wash doesn't spray brown water, but it doesn't really spray very strong, which is kind of good because you don't want anything to knock out your eyes. So you want to make sure that you get over here and that somebody kind of helps you that way and they press the button firmly because otherwise it will just screw it out. You want to make sure that it gets out.
Can we say?
I'm watching brown water. Brown water. Okay. So now those are some of our safety precautions in here. We also have, we don't have any mercury in the lab. Our fire extinguisher. Are you guys familiar with how to use a fire extinguisher?
Show us.
Can't show you. We actually have to go through training for this, but literally you always want to start with the basics. Okay, work your way up. Okay, and make sure you get it completely out. Real simple. Okay. In most cases, the fires that we're going to be working with are going to be kind of controlled. They're going to be done. Simplest thing to do is to turn off, right? Okay. Now, if your hair catches on fire, that's something different. So we want to make sure they have our hair pulled back in a ponytail. So make sure you bring your scrunchies or your clips or whatever, or roll it up in a bun. I'm gonna have to start doing that because mine is getting a little too long. And it sucks when your hair catches on fire. You're like, what's that smell? What's that smell? You're like, oh, it's me, right? So you want to make sure that you want to keep your hair intact. Okay. So let's see, what else should I tell you? If you happen to have an accident, anything breaks or anything like that, you get cut, let me know. We have safety, we have band-aids and everything like that. But we have to keep track of that. If any glass breaks, we have glass disposal. That's all your broken glass. Here, talk about that glass. Now, if it has chemicals in it, what I'm going to do is put let's say you're using something and you broke it and it has a chemical like an acid or something like that. So what we're going to do is put it in the bag because it has to neutralize before we can dispose of it. Okay, I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag and keep it there. So usually that Ziploc bag is going to be here. They have this thing down here this week. And but this is where your broken glass goes. You just break it. Now things are going to break, and sometimes I'm going to tell you to knock it off the table because I want to try to get new equipment. But so I'll let you know on that in advance. Okay. Now go ahead and dispose of it here. Broken glass. Don't worry about it, and don't be scared to tell me that you broke something because if I know about it, then I know I can get it replaced. Right? If I don't know about it, then I can't replace it. And so the goal is to try to get it replaced. Okay. And especially with the new stuff, with the good stuff, right? Okay, so this here, these are your waste bins. There are two types of major waste that you guys are going to be working with. One is called non-halogenated, and one is called halogenated. Now, you guys don't know the difference between halogenated and non-halogenated yet, but you will. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a little insight. Halogenated waste is more reactive than non-halogenated waste. Halogenated basically means they're so close to being a noble gas, they need one electron, so they're going to be very reactive to sit there and get there. So they have to be disposed of differently because they can be very volatile, right? And it's funny that something like chlorine, like sodium chloride, well, that's considered halogenated waste, even though it's just salt. Now it's neutralized because it's salt. That sodium and chlorine comes together, they kind of neutralize each other's reactivity. If you have them independently, they would be reactive. Now, having the ion itself can also be very reactive. And so we have to keep them separate. Okay. And so we separate them, non-halogenated, halogenated. Yeah, I'll tell you what halogenated is when it's time to get there. When in doubt, ask and I'll let you know. Okay. So that's waste. This is called a fume hood. Okay, so this is the fume hood. It's going to get really loud. You may not be able to hear me. This is the fume hood. There's a light that goes with it as well. Now the fume hood, what do you guys think the fume hood is used for? Fire. Not fire, no. Gases. So it's trying to keep gases under control, right? So if we're doing experiments that are going to have toxic gases, we're going to be doing it in the hood. And you guys will be doing 3 experiments where you're going to have toxic gases. Really toxic gases, right? Stuff that will knock you out or give you severe headaches and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you do it in the hood. Now, when you do it in the hood, I'm going to turn this off because it's hot and can't hear anything I'm saying. Now, when you're working in the hood, there are a couple things that we don't want to do. What do you think is one of the major things that we don't want to do?
Put your head in there.
Thank you. Put your head in there. Now, you wouldn't believe, common sense would say, don't put your head in the hood, right? How many people will do this? First thing they want to do is stick their whole head in the hood, right? Their whole head in the body. And you're like, don't stick your head in the hood. Okay. And 5 minutes later, they're doing exactly the same thing. Okay. Common sense, right? Again, just common sense things I'm asking. Okay, so we don't want to stick our hand in the hood, right? We also want to try to keep it at the level. There's this little clamp that tells you the level that it works best at, right? That means that it'll keep those gases in if it's at that level. If it's higher than that level, it's a problem. If it's lower than that level, it can be a problem. Okay, so we want to try to keep it under control. Okay. Okay. So the other thing is that we want to make sure that we have it in the hood. This here, this is called the lip, right? This is the lip. We're not doing the reaction here, right? Because if I'm doing the reaction here, what's going to happen? It's going to come out, right? And if it comes out and it's a toxic gas, what's going to happen to me? Oh, I'm going to get lightheaded. I'm going to pass out. We had 2 incidents where people passed out because of the gas that was being generated. It was fortunate enough that they did have the hood on. They at least had that on. So it was sucking in part of the gas. Otherwise, it would have been more than 2 people passed out, right? Because again, that concept of follow instructions and common sense. Work in the hood. So this here is a lip. There's an upper lip. If you work behind that upper lip, that's where you want to be, right? So when you're doing experiments, it should be in the hood, not on the lips. Okay? You guys got that? So not on the lips, right? You tell them not on the lips, okay? Okay, good. Okay, so let's see, where else? Where are we now? So if you burn yourself, first thing that you want to do is cool it off with some cool water, right? And then I have some ointments that'll help you out. If you have a chemical burn, important to tell me what chemical you're working with, because you can either get chemical burns by acids or by a base, right? Or just by an oxidizer, right? So those are 3 different ways of getting burns. And so depending on how you got burnt, we want to first off neutralize, right? And so we want to give you another chemical that's going to balance it out. Let me talk to you about neutralizers. So if we have acid spills, which will happen, you know, we get clumsy, spill things. This is our little waste area. I need to kind of get cleaned up a little bit. But down here, we have neutralizers for acids, and it says neutralizer for acid, and it's red. And the funny thing is that when you neutralize it, it will actually change colors. So to let you know that it's been neutralized. Okay. And then we also have, I have some kitty litter, and I have a lot of little tricks to use to neutralize various things. And so if you spill an acid, let me know. And then so you can find your neutralizers here. We also have base neutralizers as well. So let me know what you spilled. We'll get down something down here, right? Usually it's baking soda. If it's an acid, also we use baking soda. We can use baking soda for a base as well too. So kind of works out pretty well. Baking soda works for everything. And you guys will learn that here in a second. So stay here long. Okay, so although it says cell phones are prohibited, I like you guys to use your cell phones, right? Partially to take pictures so you guys can remember what you did in the lab, particularly when you're writing out, because then you're looking back to that. This is right? Now, when you're doing this, it's somebody takes the picture, you know, somebody's doing the lab work. That's what I'm going to be supporting, right? So you have somebody's doing documentation, and you guys should take turns. Not the same people should do the lab all the time. And sometimes there are going to be multiple parts to it. Okay, we're going to work on this part, we're going to work on this part so that we can get out of here fast, right? Because a lot of you guys are like, we get out of here. We're here for 4 hours, man. That's a long day, right? I want to spend all day here. Well, enjoy your summer just a little bit, right? So just a little bit, not so much. Okay. So we talked about working glass. We talked about long hair. What should I do with my long hair? Okay, just making sure. Okay. So we talked about the beginning of the lab. At the end of the lab, we should write it down. Right? You know. Okay. So your personal stuff. So your bags, your purses, and all those things. Bags, purses, and all those things. You didn't have sleep last night, did you?
I did.
You did? Oh, you're trying to get a little extra there, huh? Yes, those eyes. Okay, so your bags and everything, I want them under the desk. They're in the lab. Now, this is the thing that I tell everybody every semester. Every semester, somebody comes in and gets really bad acid burns. They burn strictly through their bag and everything like that, or they take it home with them, right? And they're, I got acid on my bag. I have this hole now and all of this stuff. And I'm like, didn't I tell you put your bag underneath the table so you don't burn it up? So you want to make sure that you guys are putting it underneath the table. There's this little, nice little intake areas here that you get to stick stuff on there. Stick it on there. Don't forget it, because I got a lot of cool water bottles that way too. Man, I have a collection, you know? And so don't forget it, but you know, put it there and keep it safe, you know? Okay, now we're here a long day. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to have at least a cart or something there at the front of the classroom for your water bottle and everything like that, your drinks. Your drinks should not be in the lab, right? Particularly when you're doing the lab. This is the thing I try to students about, like 99% of the time. I told you that's which drink there, right? And then they get acid or something in there and they're like, oh, like that. Yeah, exactly. Put it over there so it doesn't, nothing happens to it, right? So then step outside and have a drink, you know? So we're gonna try to make accommodations for you because it's a long day, it's hot, and I get thirsty too. I'm like, yeah, I wanna have my coffee and stuff. Occasionally, I'll, you know, bring my coffee and have a sip or two, you know? But we wanna make sure that the environment is a safe environment. This is a lab. It's built to be a lab. You should have food and drinks in the lab part of it. So, you know, that, okay? So today is an exception. I'm letting you go, right? So, but now you know. Talk about acids. So when you're working with acids, you always want to remember that acids are going to be more dense. Okay, so you're going to add the acid to water, not water to acid. Now this is going to be important because often if you go the opposite way, what happens is that the water pops out and jumps out because it's less dense, and then it carries some of the acid with you, so then you end up with an acid. And so a lot of people will make that mistake. So you want to always remember, more dense. Acids are going to be more dense. So add those down so they'll sink. Okay? Let's see. Now, if you're using a Bunsen burner, the glassware that you're using is going to be what? Hot. Now, do you handle hot things with your hands? No. We have tools. We have either tongs, they're called equal tongs, or we have stew holders, or we have mittens, oven mitts, you know, we're working on a budget, so we find ways to make things work, right? So we will sit there and have tools for you to handle hot equipment, right? So don't touch those with your hands. Remember, they're going to be hot. Okay, so sink. So I will tell you when you can pour something down the sink and when you can't pour something down the sink. 99.9% of the time, it's going to be stuff that you can't pour down the sink. So we're doing an experiment. We're having a precipitant. We're having something like that. Don't pour it down the sink, right? So waistbands, that's why we have waistbands, right? There's 1 or 2 labs that you can pour part of it down the sink, but the other part you can't pour down the sink. Okay, it'll say keep the precipitant. That means that you want to keep the stuff that's left there, right? And so don't pour those parts down the sink. And I'll tell you, and I'll say it a couple of times because, you know, the more I say it, sometimes it actually sticks. You know? I'll let you know. Okay. And you guys know where the sinks are. You have sinks here, you have sinks there, and you have sinks there. Okay. Last thing, if you're pregnant or you're planning to be pregnant over the next couple of weeks, let me know because there are certain things that you cannot process in pregnancy. Some of those things are chemicals that we work with. And so in those cases, what we'll do is have you not come around for that lab or, you know, or make arrangements. And if you're a male, that also pertains to you too, if you're trying to get, you know, have kids and stuff like that, because there's certain things that will mess that up as well too. So let me know when you do it. Okay. Okay, so you guys understand these rules? Can you abide by them?
Yeah.
They're pretty simple, right? You guys are not agreeing with me. You're making me worried. I'm starting to sweat a little bit here. Okay. So what I need you guys to do is sign that contract. You can work jewelry, but you want to be careful, right? So you don't want to really be diagonal things because, like, for instance, depending on what that jewelry is made of, it can react, you know? So you want anything that's going to fall into sand. But in most cases, you know, rain or stuff like that, you're gonna be as long as you have the dogs on it. Yeah, as long as they don't fall into your solution, you know. if you go- No,
I know,
it's just
girl.
temporary.
Oh,
Yeah, usually it's like a short term. No, it's not forever, it's just short term. There's certain chemicals, yeah. And so, but the thing is that, like, particularly for men, it's like, it's only if you come direct contact with it, so you just want to be cautious with it. You know? But I'll let you guys know, there's a couple of things that we're looking at. Okay, so. The academic contract, you guys signed that already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one more thing. My class is a favorite for our marketing team to come through. And so they like to take images and pictures of my class because it's usually the most diverse and it's usually the biggest. Which is kind of funny. It's such a hard time about keeping classes, but yet I have some of the bigger classes. Anyway, I would like you guys to give us permission to use your images. If you're comfortable with that. If you're not, let me know because we'll work with what you're giving us. So, but we would like it because it does wonders in terms of feeding words fast. Yeah. Okay. Questions? Concerns? Cash? Perfect. I take credit too. So. Okay. So let's actually do our first lab. It's not a real lab. It's just talking about safety. So you guys should have this handout, safety first. So what I'd like you guys to do is, since we've gone over the rules of safety, you guys kind of have an idea of where everything is at. If you don't have a fire hydrant, unfortunately, we do have a fire hydrant. It's right there. It's fire. Well, we have. Okay. So what I'd like you guys to do is go ahead and complete this lab. First part is a diagram. Second part is answering a couple of questions. And then this diagram, you want to show where everything is located at. Show me that you know where everything is located at. Okay. So, the box of our room. And then what you guys are going to do is you guys can work together on this in your group. But you want to complete the whole thing, and then as soon as you complete the whole thing, take snapshots, and I'm going to show you how to upload your first assignment. Did you paper cut yourself? See, we already got our first cut here, you know. Hit the paper. Are you good? You good? Okay. Okay. Questions? Okay, now I want discussion. I like to have interaction. That's my question. No question? Okay. No questions. Okay, good. I'll let you guys do what you need to do. Okay, Brenda, Jennifer, and yeah, okay. And Matt, I'm gonna get your name down. You gotta give me a little bit of time. I'll work on it. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and go. When you guys come in tomorrow or on Wednesday, whenever I get a chance to see you guys, I'll have the lab that you guys need to do, so you guys can upload that. Okay? Okay, you guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, bye.